Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the newspaper review this morning. We've taken a look at some of the stories making the rounds on the front page of the Punch newspaper. But right now, we're being joined by our public affairs analyst, Obinna Okafor. Good morning and welcome to the newspaper review.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mr. for having me.
Yes, it's good to have you this morning. Mr. Obinna Okafor, since last week, the stories about insecurity, terrorism, and the acts, this menace of insecurity has, gained another form of resurgence again in Nigeria. And this time, it's in Kaduna State, even though Kaduna State has not left the front burner of the news with regards to issues concerning insecurity. But at this time, it seems the attack are just coming left, right, and center. What could be the reason for this?
Well, I think, in my opinion, I might not be a security expert as to why Kaduna had been chosen as a theater of attack against the Nigerian state. But I think it's so, in my opinion, because the terrorists that are involved in these criminal acts have seen Kaduna to be the center of almost all the military architecture we have here, the platform we have, the bases are all based in Kaduna. And they probably feel that if they intimidate and subdue Kaduna, probably Nigeria will be on their knees more than ever before. That's what I'm thinking from that point. And I think that's from the terrorist point of view.
Okay.
Another thing I'm looking at also from the governance or the government point of view, the problem is that when you have failed to identify or accept the problem, it is difficult to provide solution to it. It seems to be playing more politics in the security challenge in Nigeria than trying to address it. Because we have failed to accept the reality on ground. We have failed to engage everybody in the system. We are playing politics between APC and PDP, and we think it ends there. The way the thing is going, until we take drastic decisions and drastic steps to addressing them, I doubt if we can make better progress. So that's what I think should happen here. Because just like the former President Obasanjo said, the system seems to be overwhelmed. But I don't know why that should be. I'm not a security expert. There are many things that should be done, as I said some time ago, that have not been done. While we are trying to address the current situation, more ones are building up in the future. Education, it should be one of the approaches to solving security problems. But look at the situation is also in limbo here. We are not talking about it. People are so busy gambling for 2023, spending money recklessly and all of that should have been used to build infrastructure that will help transform and renew and liberate the mind of the people. So until we do that, until we have that patriotism, until we have that commitment from every angle, from everybody, this is our cross. I mean, this is not about party now. It's not about APC or PDP because everybody is a victim now. The recent calamity that happened at the rail line, yes. If we listen to the names that we mentioned, that is not just people from the north. It is a complete Nigeria that was attacked at that rail line because every name from every section of this country were involved. So we are all victims. So until we take it up that seriously and forget about this self-deception of living in denial.
Okay. Mr. Obinna, earlier you made a statement. You said because Kaduna, from your point of view, that Kaduna could be in the focus or the center of attack at the moment because probably the terrorists were thinking that if they can bring Kaduna on its knees, they would have some level of advantage across the country. And Kaduna houses all the military institutions, the Nigerian Defense Academy, and other military training institutes there. That seems to suggest that Kaduna is actually the strong base when it comes to the military might and force in Nigeria. Shouldn't this actually scare terrorists away from attempting anything there?
That's why we all are worried that if the location, the state that houses all these great institutions could be brought to their knees. Maybe the terrorists are also feeling that if they're able to capture Kaduna, maybe every other place will be a run over, a walkover for them. And if we are not able to bring to the end of this madness, this situation in Kaduna, then I'm not too sure that we have a long way to go in this country. I think that every step should be taken to ensure that this does not continue.
Okay, now let's look at it from the other other aspects, talking about the executive arm of government that is charged with the responsibility, a little one that the president is called Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces across the country. Now let's look at the National Assembly, the House of Representatives and the Red Chamber, the Senate. What role do you think they should be playing in a time such as this?
Well, I think the issue of the role to play rests more and squarely on the executive. The president himself is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The Red Chamber, National Assembly, they have done the much I believe they should do. They have provided enabling laws. They have made resolutions severally which neither responded to or thereabouts. So the whole implementation and execution is on the executive. The president is a former general, and he should have his tactical teams. There are things that has to be done, and he should know what to do. And one problem is that the issue of knowing what to do is one thing. The issue of the structural ground is another thing too. If we have the competencies required among them, there was a time we screamed and shouted that they should change the military architectures and all of that, and that after a very long time was changed. I do not know whether that has made any difference. Probably there should be a change in strategy. There should be a security summit that is called, that involves even past military intelligence. They can gather them together. This is not a matter of pride again. The government should throw up his hand and let the people in the country know that we are in a serious, in a bad situation. It's not being, that will not make them to be competent. Even if it's not about failure, they already have failed. It's already a failed level of governance. But we now want to have solution now. Let us gather whoever and wherever within the country that can provide solution to us. That's what I think should be done.
Okay.
For the next chambers and the green chamber, I believe the more they can go, they are not part of the executive. They pass laws, and if there's any law that can empower the president, which they have done. Even they have been declared terrorists, then I have to deal with them. I don't know whether that is being done. And they have been passing resolutions that passing. The last time they invited the security heads, most of them did not come. So what do they do?
Yes.
I don't know. But unfortunately, the red chambers have what to do if they are failing to do because of politics.
Okay.
The president should be put on his toes. In a situation like this, where there are failures, the National Assembly should begin to let the president take the responsibility. If he cannot do it, they should impeach him. That's what should happen. But we are doing we are doing Big Daddy and all of that. Everything is going back. So whatever the president does is okay. And nobody can challenge it. That is not what democracy should be.
Okay.
If you are given an appointment and you're able to do that, the National Assembly should put the executive on check. And if the president cannot, if he cannot resign, which should be more honorable, he should be impeached.
Okay.
That's what it is.
But Mr. Obinna Okafor, we have not seen the National Assembly or the Senate call the president to maybe appear in the floor of the Senate and the floor of the Parliament to come talk about this level of insecurity in the country, that everyone is on their toes and the nation seems to be on the edge. Don't you think the Red Chamber should invite Mr. President and some of the military chiefs to come talk about this?
That's exactly what I'm saying. If they invited the military chiefs and they failed to come, would it be the president that will now come? But that should be the right thing. That should be an identity. What happened in Kaduna should call for our flag to fly half-mast. It's a national tragedy. I tell you.
Okay.
Or look at an imam that just criticized the government. Have they not suspended him? So what are you talking about?
Okay.
We are building and breeding a dictatorial system. The president is the servant of the people. He should be summoned by the National Assembly. Let him explain to them what's happening, even if it's a closed session. But if his employees who work, his delegated parties are not, are disdain the National Assembly, who has the guts to call the president to come? The president is all in all now.
Okay.
But that should be what should happen.
Okay, Mr. Obina.
They should invite him. If the president is not able to do what he's been called to do, then they should impeach him if he can resign. That's what it is.
Okay, Mr. Obina, lately there's been this call for, bringing in mercenaries to come assist the Nigerian military with regards to what we currently have at hand in security. Bringing in mercenaries, do you think this will help? Because that's been the call, even though there's been an opposition to that call anyways.
You see, that's why once on Mabo, the president himself cried and wept in Gotham House in London, or in every place that how can a whole Nigeria, the Nigerian military that is very strong across Africa, peacekeeping everywhere, and I still give it to a Nigerian gallant military. They are very strong. They are the best, I can say, anywhere. But I don't know whether they have been well equipped. I don't know whether they have been provided the necessary thing they need to fight. The fact remains that, as I said, I'm not a security expert, but I know that the issue of mercenary is a temporary solution. When we solve a temporary solution with it might also create another future solution. They should look at it. If that will provide temporary solution to us and probably be able to check it as time goes on, maybe that could be an option. For me, I don't think every option should be laid on the table and reviewed vis-a-vis the pros and the cons and know what to do. But what I'm saying that whatever should be done, and that should be urgent before we see ourselves like an Afghanistan that is taken over by the Taliban. Because that's exactly what it's about to play. It's looking to me, that's what it's about talking about playing out in Nigeria here. When they finish with Kaduna, where our strong base is, and take over those institutions, and they come now. They are already at Abuja. Well, I'm hearing that some part of Abuja, is that what is the name of that? This other side there, that people, these terrorists were going from house to house, demanding this and kidnapping some people. That's Abuja there. That's what. Look at the seat of power. So one day, God forbid, that the government is run over. So we have to just do what we can do. If that will be a solution for them for the meantime, maybe we'll do that. But the little I know about mercenaries, I know it's a temporary solution that will have also its future consequences if it's not properly handled. Because those mercenaries may eventually subsequently become a threat, national threat, to the system after some time.
Okay, now, Mr. Obina, there's one more thing we need to talk about before we go. Let's consider the functions or the roles that former Nigerian leaders will need to play, the National Council of Leaders or former Nigerian military leaders, former Nigerian civilian leaders coming together, including the state governors from the 36 states of the Federation and the lawmakers at the State House of Assembly, including the lawmakers at the Federal House of Assembly, coming together, like you said, a state or the National Security Summit. Why does it seem like we are not calling for that at the moment? Do you think the level of insecurity doesn't warrant that at the moment?
Honestly, if you ask me, I don't know who to ask. I should think that should be a reasonable thing to do. But I believe that why that is not happening is nothing but ego. Believing, because if you hire here Lai Mohammed, if you come out here, Lai Mohammed will tell you that Nigeria is safer than ever before. If you hear any of them, they say that the Buhari is the best that have happened to any country, because they don't want to change that narrative, which sincerely and clearly, by every sense of anything, is false. So to maintain that false and negative and unrealistic narrative, they don't want to go that route. But I think that should be what will happen. It does not matter. They should cut across party line. Because when they kill anybody, they don't ask whether you are PDP or APC or whatever party. Everybody is a victim. I should think that the president should call for National Security Summit. Or whether serving and present, serving or past security intelligence officers and past presidents. But most of the time, so nothing that worry me too, because even this is the normal SEC. What do you call it now? The National Economic,
National Executive Council.
Executive council meeting. I've never seen anybody having an opposing voice. Everybody go there, whatever comes is approved. I don't know how they have that meeting. I don't know whether that meeting is held before the meeting comes or after it's there. I don't know the detail of what goes there. But to me, I've never seen anything presented here and it was turned down because the people said no.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just a normal routine meeting, but I should think that such a high-level meeting should be where people should air their views. Those who oppose can say no, and those. So I don't know, but I think that for these security issues, we should go beyond the conventional and normal way of having meetings. The president will summon them, come and brief me. The president is in cocoons, have been caged inside a sorrow. He doesn't go out anywhere to know whatever they say is what he believes in. There's no, I don't think he has any other way of knowing and feeling the pulse of the people. It's whatever those people that are involved tell him. He believes that is the wrong way of managing the people. If you want to know the real state and situation of things in the country, you should have people outside those saddled with his assignment.
Okay.
To give him the true picture of what is happening. I do not know whether or not the president actually knows
Okay.
the state
All right.
of the country.
All right. That's Obinna Okafor, who joins us via phone call this morning to give his perspective and analysis concerning insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you for your time, Obinna Okafor.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.